In this paper, we introduce a novel model to incorporate socially driven attention in a rule-based collision avoidance model to enhance the realism of crowd simulation models. Crowd simulation is used in various applications such as evacuations and urban flows, aiming to maintain human-like speeds and densities while adhering to the fundamental diagram. In computer graphics and entertainment, it is often necessary to simulate smooth collision avoidance, anticipation, and natural animations, particularly for locomotion. However, researchers typically focus on local movement algorithms dealing with collision avoidance and clearance. To enhance the overall realism of a crowd, research has shown that incorporating diverse animations can significantly improve the overall plausibility and realism of the crowd. Moving on to other human aspects beyond local movement, researchers have shown that including psychological aspects or simulating human perception can enhance realism. In this paper, we propose a novel model for crowd simulation that extends the traditional rule-based model by incorporating social norms and behaviors. In our model, the agent has a field of view. This field of view moves based on several focal points. When it detects an agent that needs to be avoided, an appropriate collision avoidance force is applied depending on the situation. First, I will explain the field of view in our model. In our model, each agent has a perception area based on its animation. For example, if an agent is using a smartphone, its field of view is reduced, increasing the risk of collisions with other agents. Next, I will explain gaze dynamics. Gaze dynamics are controlled by several focal points. For example, it may involve looking in the direction of an agent that has a collision risk, or, if agents are forming a group, looking at the group's center of mass. When an agent moves its gaze according to these gaze dynamics and identifies a collision avoidance target, the collision avoidance force varies depending on the situation. For example, this is a case when the opposing agent is forming a group. In our model, when agents form a group, the group is considered as a single large obstacle and the agent avoids the group. This aligns with social norms in everyday life, where we typically detour around a group rather than passing through it. Next, I will introduce a collision avoidance coordination. This collision avoidance coordination is triggered when the collision avoidance forces of agents are acting in the same direction. In this coordination, one of them alters their collision avoidance force to the opposite side. This function is based on the fact that we predict the direction of someone's movement based on where they are looking. Therefore, when this collision avoidance coordination is triggered, one of the agents looks at the other agent. I will now explain the concept of a shared field of view. This involves agents forming a group and sharing their field of view with other agents in the group. This means that even if an agent cannot see an obstacle, if a group member can see it, they will attempt to avoid it. This concept mirrors real-world dynamics, where, for instance, walking with friends might involve being alerted by them to avoid collisions with people or objects you haven't noticed. We conducted a user study comparing 3 conditions. The first was our developed model that incorporates socially driven attention into a rule-based collision avoidance model. The second condition involved a rule-based model to which only walking animations were added. The third condition was similar to the second, but included random gaze behavior and animations triggered randomly. By comparing these, we found that the model including ours was significantly more realistic in simulating crowds than the other 2 conditions. More details are available in the paper. Thank you for your attention.